Hopefully you can see me good. We're gonna hammer at it. Can you see it? Bear with me. If I knew how to play music for you guys, I would. Got lucky with this beaver, pulled it out of the ice. Now, yesterday morning, in a 220 conibear that I set up off of a lodge. What's up, Lays? LA's lazy? Dang, I wish I was in your hometown so I could get some more. It was in a trap. I pulled it out of the ice this morning. Last night is when this happened. Well, then go elsewhere. Beaver, I'm taking care of the fur, and I'm gonna keep the meat. I'm taking care of this beaver. What's up, Zit? John, roughly, because I didn't weigh it, this one was roughly 45. He's actually still pretty frozen. Thanks, Lazy. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to process the fur. I'll be making mittens, jackets, hats, scarves, bedding, all garments of clothing, basically. And then the meat of the beaver is fantastic. The fur is about as waterproof, warm, water resistant, soft as any fur on the planet. Yep, Vicky, I am going to eat it, and I'm going to keep the fur for the rest of my life. The tail I'm going to tan and make things like wallets. I got super lucky with this beaver. Every single one I'm lucky with, blessed. It's incredible how, like I said, the softness of the fur is insane. The water resilience, waterproofability, the warmth, the softness. It's about as soft and as warm a fur on the planet. It's one of the densest furs on the planet. Beaver. Dude, what's up, Silent? Pulled out another one out of the ice. Taking care of it now. I'll sing for you. What's up, River? I thought this headlamp was going to hold my hair back properly, but my own fault. And I'm not even using it. Let's get my hair back. Wendigo. You know, spent quite a bit of time living in New Mexico, and some of my best friends are from New Mexico, but I also lived in New Mexico. Nonetheless, where I live, there's a lot of Native American love and lore. I've literally seen it all, buddy. Take that as you will, the positives and the negatives. Feel like making. Man, this song is fire. Dude, what's up, River? Thanks, bro. Thanks. Oops. Oops, wrong one. So yeah, no, it's a really nice one, and I got a monster at the same exact spot 2 days ago. So this guy is a great size one, but relative to the ones I have been able to pull out of the ice this year, it's kind of a small beaver. Oh, that's kind of funny, huh? Thanks, River. This one I got gifted when I was like 11 years old. It's a PSC. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. There's a PSC right there. That is a Diamond Bowtech. Nitrous is what it is. So I've harvested a lot of big game animals with that, actually, because I used it for years and years. I actually started using that bow with a no release fingers, no peep sight, and with the sights. And then we transitioned to using releases. And then now, and I use this bow, and right now I'm fumbling my words. I've used all three with sights and releases. Transitioned into this bow, and then now I've been using this one for the last couple of years. But this bow now I shoot with fingers, no sights, and that's how the way I would like to remain hunting. But yeah, I use that Hoyt Defiant. It's taken a couple Boone and Crockett pronghorn, a couple trophy elk, black bear. Thanks. Hope everybody's doing good. Wolpertinger, I have no idea what that is. Have to be careful because I was training all night. Now I'm exhausted. Hey, big guy, thank you. Muddy, that sucks. If I could play music for you guys without getting copywritten, I would do it. I just don't know how to do it. Como, I'm taking care of this hide so that I could keep it for the rest of my life, make clothing, bedding out of it. It's one of the most beautiful and best hides in the world. And I'll also eat it. And then with the tail, I'll tan the leather and make a leather out of it. The bows that are in the back, Ashton, this one is a Hoyt Defiant. This one is a Diamond Bowtech Nitrous. It's old. Taken a couple dozen big game animals though. And then right here out of view, I have a PSE Response. I used that bow for a few years before I started using this Hoyt. But I also used this bow without sights and with fingers. Just instinctually. It's a compound, but that's how I use it. It's so fun. It's my preferred way to archery. Go about archery. This bull. That was this year. Over the counter, public land. Herd bull. I use that bull. That bow. That's funny. I don't know how many are in view. That bow has taken a couple bulls now. 3. Yes, I do, Cindy. AJ, I am taking care of the fur and I'm going to process the meat so that it doesn't go to waste. It's one of the best furs on the planet. If you're going to cry, cry elsewhere. Come on, go. There you go. Man, the playlist tonight is fire. The only person that has a true right to speak is a breatharian, somebody that does not eat meat or vegetables. Otherwise, hush. Como, I actually trapped it. Dude, it's skinny. Yep, what's up, man? Thanks, guys. Yep. They've been through some stuff. That bow is named Sage. The bow out of view is named New, GNU. Most people wouldn't know what that animal is. That Boone and Crockett pronghorn, that's right there, that I used that Hoyt for. Thanks, Como. No, the animal is big, exactly. They could be upwards of 500, 600, 700 pounds, depending on where they are. Dude, Logan. Pay some big bucks, I got you, homie. Oh, Cindy. The meat is incredible. People that don't know just won't know. The ranch where these beaver I have been trapping recently have been coming from one of my classmates and best friends, his ranch. He has a cattle ranch. Now most people in the world have grown up eating beef, chicken, pork, domestic animals. as far as wild game, you would be surprised. The beaver is up there. Up there. The only thing we can relate it to is a beef roast of some sort. And then the fur is just insane. It's insane. It's one of the most waterproof, soft, water repellent, soft, warm, usable furs. You can make anything out of it. So I could go on. Sorry for the ugly mug, guys. I'm tired as can be from training. I'm exhausted. I am eating it, Mo beef. Thanks, Skinny. Logan. Don't get my stream censored, buddy. Thanks, Wisdom. Sebastian, it's a beaver. It's hard to explain to people that just don't understand. I mean, they just won't understand. You have to experience it all for yourself. But yeah, this is the second largest rodent on planet Earth. Oh, that's awesome, Junior. That's what I'm saying. Raccoon is amazing meat as well. People that raccoon is really good. The beaver is the second largest rodent on the planet. The capybara being the only one that's bigger. And it's crazy to think that they're this. You know, I spend my life with these animals. They are not a semi-aquatic animal. They are mostly aquatic. Yes, River, of course. Just where I live, there's way more mule deer than there are whitetail. Arkin, at least I'm taking care of it to preserve it for the rest of our life and do it the best justice that I can. No, and keep the fur. Picasso. Prolific, it's a beaver. It's a rodent. Charlie, of course. I'll show you again real quick. There's a few of them. Here's a bull that I got a couple years back. You can see where my impacts are, both of them right behind the shoulder. My first was about 6 yards, and then I just knocked that antler down. I stopped him at 20-ish and got another one in him. Younger one, he's got cool crown tips. I wish I could show you the muskrat that I've just harvested recently. And then this one is the bull that I harvested this year. Another herd bull, over-the-counter, public land. That one was at about 11, 12 yards. As he was crashing down through the timber, coming at me, thinking I was another bull. There's one right here, just out of view. You know, I've had a license to hunt bull elk legally every year since I was 12 years old. Sometimes I can have 2 or 3 elk tags in my pocket, including 2 cow tags, so a bull and a couple of cow tags. Charlie, I try to only archery hunt, but when it comes to rifle season, I do. Prolific, it depends. It depends on what I am going after, whether it be smaller predator or big game. It just depends. But I have a couple that were given to me from family that were passed down to me. I use those often. And I have to be careful with the words so that I don't get the page censored, but like 280 is one of the ones that I use a lot. It's one of my favorites. Junior, that's awesome. It's awesome. Good for you. Good for you. It's super important. Panda, people can say that about any red meat, and it's all a lot in how you process and handle it. You want to be careful with a lot of different little aspects with not getting it to oils or gland or fluids on it, and you want to keep the hair off of it as much as possible. But I think it tastes incredible. To me, it tastes very similar to beef. I know it's a way of life, and it's extremely important at times. Oh, Kevin. Oh, if you only knew, buddy. I still have it, Charlie. Panda Junior, obviously, it's so important. River, bro, have a good day. I'm super sorry, man. I hope that you follow me, and that way, when I pop in live, you can see what's up. Usually running trap lines every single day, checking beaver traps, calling for coyotes, as far as outdoorsy stuff right now during winter. Going after all fur bearers right now, and predators. Chasing. What's up, Alaska? That's sweet. I grew up in a taxidermy. I've never mounted a full animal myself ever in my life. I've just, caped / skinned countless animals. I've been doing it pretty much my entire life. I've been lucky to be able to do this stuff most of my life, just with varying animals. Just depends. Denny, all the time. It's a living sentient being, so I try to give them as much possible respect and love that I possibly can. I'm just not unaware that they are sentient beings as well. A lot of people pretend that it's not. Like, the plants. Like, how can you pretend that a plant's life value is any greater or less than different animals? Plants are just as alive and sentient in other ways. So, my perception of it is I try to be do it as they use the word humane and as effectively, quickly as possible when I choose to. But I don't like to. I feel bad swatting a fly or anything, but I'm not unaware that I can't drive a vehicle down the road without it happening indefinite amount of times without my choice. You can't walk on the soil and it not happen because you are, you're crushing microorganisms. So I can go on about it forever. Yes, Enz. Yes, Vincent. I know chasing. I'm super duper duper lucky. I was born into it in a way that not very many people get to anymore. I'm extremely fortunate for that. The families that I was born into, and the environment that I grew up in and where I am, I just beyond blessed with this aspect. Now with all life, but with things like this, I was taught by the best, brought up in one of the best areas and places for all of it, and plentiful game, and like the people of the past who lived here. I completely understand why you wouldn't necessarily want other and more people coming, because they just don't understand. So we wouldn't be able to continue to do this. Yep, Kayla. It's gonna be so good. Yes, Denny. Bro, heck yeah, Junior. Heck yeah, man. Thank you. Thanks all of you. Yeah, of course. Yes. This cloaca, I don't know if you guys know anything about a beaver. This second largest rodent on the planet, they only have one hole on their back end, male and female. Only one hole. Everything comes out one hole. The reproductive, excrements, etc. It's unique. Really cool. Thanks, yeah, of course, bro. It's one of the better wild game. People wouldn't even know. And the fur is incredible. And the tail, I'm gonna keep in tan and make stuff out of the leather. Sorry if I'm stuttering and I'm all janky, guys. I was out training, or sorry. I was out running trap lines with one of my best buds yesterday, and then we were with one of our best friends whose ranch and area we were on. And then I came home, rested for a little bit, and then I had training all night. So, physical training. So now I'm exhausted. Oh, thanks, yes. Yeah, no, duh, dude. Heck yeah, man. Oh, no, it's crazy, exactly. So the male reproductive and the female reproductive, one hole. And, like, their reproductive stuff comes out that hole. Their excrements come out that hole. Their gland oils and the stuff come out that hole. That's it. Mouth, one hole. But for male and female, it's really unique and cool. It's cool. Thank you guys so much for the likes. You guys are awesome. Hey, this one's all swollen. Sucky. You have to be really careful around that spot, around this spot, because their glands are behind, under the fur, under the skin, the epidermis, laid around that, because that's where it comes out. So you don't want to cut into those. And also, I harvest those things, just so you know. I keep it, and then I'll be making lure bait, basically, from its gland oils to catch others later on in the future. Next year, more than likely. Whoa. They're fascinating. They became one of my favorite animals. Their fur is, well, statistically, it's crazy. These beaver have, on average, anywhere from 15,000 to 24,000 hairs per centimeter, per square centimeter. It's mind-boggling. It's one of the most dense fur on the planet. It's fascinating. Fascinating. So yeah, I could go on forever. It's so soft, way more soft than it may look. You'd have to put your hands on it. Way softer than any dog or cat or domestic animal. Way warmer. Those bulls are nice, huh? Those are all public land elk, all of them. Public land, over the counter, in my home. Every single one of those bulls, every single one of those that are in view right there, those 4 different ones. There's 5 actually, right there on that wall. I, with my mouth, called them into their spirit, taken off from their body. It's one of my favorite things in this life. Can you guys see my mountain goat? No, you can see my bear though. That's the last archery bear that I harvested. 7 yards. I know it's hard to believe, but all of the evidence there. Not only that, I self-filmed that one. The impact is in frame, and he expired in frame. He's like 7 yards, and then you'll see the film and you're like, oh, you're not lying. Nope, 7 yards. So yeah, you could look up some wallets made out of their leather. Oh, it's so cool. Out of the leather from their tail. And like, there's other things, whatever. I mean, I'll make leather out of it. So then whatever you would do with that smaller patch of leather, you know, because it's not a huge, long, extended piece of hide. Thank you, Eric. I don't know if it's Erica or Eric, but either one, thank you so much. I'll say e-money. I mean, just ask. I could ramble about anything, but if you have any questions, just ask. It's hard to put into words, this stuff, and you know, you have to experience all aspects of it to understand. You know, I'm harvesting my own fur that I'll make clothing from, that I'll use for the rest of my life, and I can pass on and give to friends and family, and make for friends and family. First and foremost, a person can relieve themselves from doing things like, you know, I have the ability to harvest so much wild game that I literally do not have to buy meat at the store. I can for personal preference, and I do. But you know, a person doesn't have to if you understand some of this stuff. And there's so much of it if it's done properly. Because these things I love and respect so much, and love all of this so much, and love them so much, that I would never want to get rid of all of them. So yeah, people that just don't understand. It's hard to put into words completely. Now I'm going to make a straight line from that cloaca, that one hole, through the fur, basically to the bottom of the chin, as straight as I possibly can. What's up, Alicia? Too bad that you can't understand. One moment. So I have this tool. It works really well. I have to be careful with all the words I say, so I'm just being a little careful. It's asinine. Gotta hold it straight as I can. Come on. Now I'm stopping and readjusting by pulling in a slightly different spot on the fur so I can keep leverage. But I just one cut. And that's the last one that I'll do on the fur. It's unfortunate that you have to do any, but that will be the last one that I do on this. Or hers, I don't know what it is yet. Thank you guys. I'm so thankful. Lucky. So yeah, I trapped this beaver all alone in a trap I set up on a huge lodge. Beaver Lodge. Lodge is above my head. Biggest lodge I've personally ever seen. Nope. Absolutely, Eric. I don't know if it's Erica or Eric. You should tell me. Absolutely. I have one right here, actually. And I have various ones, but I have no idea why it works. So I keep using it because it works. And because I have some for it. Hey. I know. But until you've done as many as I have, you know. That's a joke. I know how I look. I've never had a guide in my entire life. I am usually the guide. You could say that somewhat conceitedly. Erica. Oh, hey, what's up? Amy, I have to take care of the fur and make sure that I can keep it safe for the rest of my life. Okay, Erica, no, yeah, I absolutely can use a different one. I'm gonna have one right there. I have some blades for this. And I used it, and all of a sudden I liked it. So I've continued to use it. I know it's funny. It's funny to me, but it works. So I'm using it. Come on. I'm shaking because I'm so fatigued from training. Come on, I gotta get through this and move. Come on. Come on. You have to be careful, like I said, around those glands, especially when you have it opened up like this, because you don't want to press any of those oils out of the hole onto you. Slash, you don't want to make any other punctures on the hide other than what you did to preserve it. Now, all of these, this is a method, these lacerations, to then properly preserve its fur and hide forever. I know. Facts. Both are. It's left. It's actually left because the screen is flopped. I know. There we go. There we go. Frog's fishing, that's so sweet. What's up, Frog? Shout out, bro. A couple of my buddies are professional fly fishing guides. Some of my best friends who I grew up with. up here in the Rocky Mountains. I love fishing, man. Hey, this guy's... What they are, basically a fish that can come up above ground, as much as they live in the water. I hope everybody's having a good morning. I'm gonna take care of this smoking beaver. Me, myself, because of the way that it left, it ended in a method that there was no damage to it externally. And the trap that I use, the way that it works is it basically does it right away, basically. So it's still inside of it. I have to be careful to keep it there. Just one more time. Can anybody guess the song by my humming? Again, I probably can't even do that without being copywritten. Well, shout out to... Well, Eric, I'm using this little just X-Acto knife, you know what those are. But then this other multi-tool buck knife that I have, this is what you would call a gut hook. It's got this rounded end. It's really nice. Love y'all. I got blessed with this gorgeous, gorgeous beaver. Crazy, it's crazy. I couldn't even see him in the trap. I thought it was... I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't see it. Didn't even know. Gut hook, yeah, gut hook. They come in super handy when you're doing stuff like this, and you know, on another animal, for instance, like a raccoon, a fox, a coyote, anything that has a tail, that has fur that you keep, they when you keep that tail, you can use that to go up the tail really easily as well. Beaver, beaver. That song is wild. Beaver, Fabian. It's the second largest rodent on the planet. It's a rodent, a waterborne rodent, unique one. One of the, probably the coolest rodent on earth. Muskrat being freaking up there as well, fur-wise. Beaver trumping them size, fur, and meat. He's got some glands on him, that's for sure. Thank you guys for watching. I mean, please like, please subscribe, please like the video, share it out. You know, my brother, my closest friends and I, we are in the countryside every single day, basically. Right now it's winter, so, you know, ice fishing, running trap lines, calling for predators, trapping, getting ready for spring bear. I'm always training. I still wrestle. I'm a martial artist, so I'm training every day. I love all sorts of things. So, I mean, I could be platforming other stuff that we do, but I'm showing a lot of the countryside of where I live. Capybara, that's a name. I don't know. When you spend time with Beaver, you'll understand. You'll understand. I haven't spent any time with the capybara, but I agree. That's funny, Matil. Fabian, I don't disagree, lady. I let a bunch of them. I'm taking care of it, user. Dude, thanks, memes. Thanks, bro. Thanks, my UK homie. I, forgot my train of thought. Oh, yeah, these are one of the coolest animals, for sure. One of the coolest animals on the planet, for sure. You know, archery hunting elk is one of my favorite things in life. Chasing mountain goat, bighorn sheep, bear. I mean, I could go on and on. I love it all so much. But man, the fur of a beaver. The fur of a beaver. Oh yeah, somebody's asking. Fabian, sorry about that. Well, this one I actually trapped with a trap, so I didn't use one of those at all. But you know, you can. I also catch them in live traps, footholds, and I'll use a 2-2, usually something like that. 17 sometimes, preferably one that doesn't do any damage to them. So. It just depends though, because when I'm hunting other animals, big game animals, varying, I use other ones. Beaver. Rourke, it depends on the type that you want and how much you want to spend. Some of them are ultra expensive and ultra nice. You know, I have been hunting since 1993 when I was born. I was born in 93. So I started, you know, into this stuff around that age. And, you know, the ones that we've used, the crossbow that was in my family was like $300-400 years ago. But you can get one that are thousands of dollars and that are really nice. Thanks, Fabian. Wow, that you have a reindeer pelt. That is so cool. Thanks, gamer. Erica, that is so cool. That is so cool. Yes, Georgia, of course. Of course. Of course. Love it. We have a lot of mule deer here, though, from where I live. Whitetail, but way more mule deer. And so I spend time hunting whitetail back home on the farm. We say home because Dad was born and raised in South Dakota. I was not. But we've done some hunting for whitetail back in South Dakota, though there are whitetail where I live, and I do go after them, but I spend way more time going after mule deer. But the deer, technically, that I love the most is an elk, wapiti. I love them so much. But I have such respect and love for all these critters, it's hard to explain. Hard to explain. That's why I'm doing this. It's so expensive for rook player. Sober, it's a Beaver. Thanks, DG Gamer. That's freaking awesome. Thank you so much. Boxing nerd. That's sweet to hear. If you love fighting, I train every single day. I grew up wrestling. Dad was a coach, so I was basically born on the mat through some college, and then I've trained in various martial arts all my life. One of my cousins is actually a national champion boxer multiple times. That's so awesome, dude. The meat texture. Thanks, DG. The meat texture is it's so hard to convince somebody that wouldn't. You just have to experience for yourself, and it's all in how you prep anything. Like, you can prep a beefsteak in varying ways. But anyways, the closest thing that I can relate this beaver to is a roast beef or an eye round of beef. Very good, though. Very, very, very good. Georgia, both, but both. But presently in most places, it's a buck only. No does. But some of the units need that where I am right now. But most of the places where I am, it's any whitetail. So I could harvest a doe if I wanted to, but I almost exclusively personally go after bucks. Not always, it just depends. Depends on the situation. Hypothetically, it would be nice to focus on the most mature and oldest. Always. It's not always the case, though. Thanks. Yeah, I'm in shorts and I'm in one of my favorite types of shirts. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's called Saws and Macaws. It's awesome. It's a macaw sitting on top of a saw. It's big. Thanks. I wish I could play you guys music, but I don't know how to do it without being copywritten. DG a bow without question, but as I say that, there is a I'm trying to figure out how to say this without the thing that blows darts. I have a full-size one that I can harvest a grizzly bear with. That's one of my favorite weapons. A bow, without question. Spear. Thanks, Skinny. Biggest Kevin as far as what? Weight size? A bull elk? Because I haven't drawn a moose tag yet. The bison that I harvested when I was young was a young one. I try to, Vardy, I don't weight and what animal would be bull elk. The bull elk that I harvested this year was, roughly on the low end, 600-ish pounds. So they can get big. It was a very big-bodied bull. Now moose are enormous, and bison are enormous. People don't know how big those animals are. Oh, I love that. Caliber boxing without question. Georgia, I'm going to go live more often like every day I've been doing it. I actually have a beautiful, beautiful jackrabbit that's jet white to work on. And I'm not going to do it after this one because I'm so fatigued from training. But I will, like, tomorrow. But right now, Georgia, if you're kind of maybe also asking what are the other things, you know, fox, coyote, mink, muskrat, skunk, bobcat, hopefully. Those are the animals that I am pretty much going after during this time of the year. Raccoon. I've been getting a lot, like not a lot. This is my first year ever trapping in my entire life. Unfortunately, thank God I finally have started. But I have trapped my first 2 raccoon ever in my entire life, and I found 2 different raccoon and roadkill, and so I've got my first 4 raccoon. That's completely up to you, Moose or Masson. Thanks, Kevin. I'm taking care of this beaver. Thanks, Kevin. You know, I really like bolts more than anything, but it's, you know, it's obviously quick. Have a good day, DG. Thank you. Semi-automatic is obviously so nice, but bolt action is obviously more accurate. Or if not, if a person doesn't, they're not all, you know, you can really, with today's tech and just everything, you know, you can, if it's a semi-automatic, it can be extremely accurate, but, you know, a bolt action will be more accurate. Don't like that it's bleeding. Well, I guess it's fortunately, but with the beaver and any of these fur bearers, it's much better to sacrifice a little bit of meat and fat than to puncture the hide. Yes. Right, boxing. He's so. Yes, Georgia. I take, and we will tan, and this will turn into leather. We'll make leather out of it, and dude, boxing I didn't, unfortunately, like a fool. I just started on this one because it's not as big as some of the other ones which I've gotten that are behemoths. This one is still enormous, roughly 45-ish. Yeah, it's cool. The tanning is what you can make out of the leather is like, you know, anything that's a leather, so wallets, etc. Come on. Yeah, I may have to flesh, but that is much better than having to then re-sew a bunch of spots and losing fur. My opinion, personally. Thanks, Georgia. Bro, have a good day boxing so much. Thanks for the words, man. Those, Georgia, are elk. And those all came from public land, over-the-counter areas. I found those ones while I was hunting. Thank you. Interesting. I guess that's just the spot. It's gonna happen at times. Like you just said to yourself. You may have to sacrifice a little bit of meat and flesh, fascia and stuff. That way you don't puncture the hide. I've used this specific blade on a couple raccoon, a beaver, and an enormous beaver. Twice the size of this, basically. Not quite, but close enough. I've used it on that and a couple raccoons and a couple rabbits. So when this one goes out, I'll either put a new one on or then switch over to the scalpel. But I really like how this one works. Georgia. I can make all the elk sounds in the elk world. I am a master at elk language and elk calling. As a warning, it depends on what you mean by that, but they make what we call basically a bark. So, you know, and I use a mouth call, but they'll just basically, and it's loud. They're huge animals. Their vocal cords in their body is enormous. The bulls, the males, they can all do all the language of elk. All of them, male and female, can do all of the sounds. The bull will do what's called a bugle. The cows can as well, but the bulls usually are the ones that you see stereotypically bugling, and it's a really loud, drawn-out call. Yeah, and if there's danger, like I said, they'll do what's basically called a bark. It's a quick, abrupt, basically. Have a good night. Have a good day, Georgia. I don't know exactly when it ends, just when I'm done. But no matter what, I hope you have a good day, and I'll stream as much as I can. Pretty much every single day, as much as I can. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the words. Thank you for asking me questions. I love it. This one's a male. I knew it. The last one that I got was enormous. Enormous. Way bigger than this one. But it was a female. And almost always you will have mating pairs. Sometimes you will have colonies of a family. Potentially sometimes multiple colonies. It's more rare where I live. But yeah, this is a male. I can already tell because I felt its baculum, its bone, male reproductive organ. Thanks, Georgia. What am I doing? These are huge. He's got some honkers. Wow. Wow. Crazy. He literally has some straight honkers. Back to him. Jamers, it's funny to me too. It's because of how good it works, bro. It just works, man. Hey, hey. Till you've done as many as I have, then that's all I can think about it, I guess, because I have no, I have no good answer, response. It works well. Now this one I've used on a couple beavers, couple raccoon, couple banays. So it's about due. But I was trying to save those castor glands. Look how cool that is. They're enormous, is what they are. Keep that stomach tight and protect your back. You muddy mofo. Muddy mofo. Sorry for the mess, guys. Jamer, I would love that. You're right. I know I need one. I know that I need one. A good Canadian Skinner. Well, it's funny that you say that. As one of my favorite knives is what's called a Canadian belt knife. I love the way that that thing is shaped. These blades getting dull. Having to work a little too hard. My arms are, I'm really fatigued from training, so bear with me. I may leave a little more flesh and meat than I normally would. Nice. I have a couple, what I think are really nice cold steel blades of a couple different versions. And those are what I carry with me. They're ultra light fixed blades, and then I carry my sharpener. That's all I need. Although I do carry, and I have since they came out, you know, those scalpel Havlon type knives. I've used those for years, but I prefer a fixed blade. It's more reliable. Old Mate, I love cold steel as well. The dart blower that I have is obviously a cold steel made. It's a Slock Master version, but it's a cold steel. And I love their blades. I'm about to start punching the rest of this guy out, huh? So do I. Hey! There we go, we did it. Pretty much the hardest parts I've got done, and I'm okay again sacrificing some meat off of the hams, which I barely did, and off that part of the tail that I have to flesh rather than having to re-sew. Duh. Old Mate. I don't know if I can touch and show it, but I have one of their Samburu. Depends on what you're gonna do. Their boar ones are probably really nice, but the Samburu are better for actually throwing and for dropping. Black bear, etc. The Samburu version. Sorry, it's a poor excuse, but I was training for the last few hours, and so I'm ultra fatigued. That's awesome, James. Exactly. Like literally the exact same thing now. God, this beaver feels so good. Super muddy one though. Thanks, old mate. Thanks. Seriously, so depends on what you're gonna do. Now that boar is if it's close range and you're literally stalking pig and you're able on foot to get really close to an animal, the boar spear, then yes. But if you're going to drop it on a black bear, something like that, or any other animal, I'm thinking that because that's what I intend on using the Samburu for. Or I've also seen the exact spear that I have been used on foot for what I was saying, like this, for Cape Buffalo, which is all you need to know, Cape Buffalo and water buffalo. Tim Wells has used that exact spear for that, and it's all on film. Nonetheless, as well as black bear and grizzly. Samburu spear. I'm sure that boar one would be good, but from what I can remember, the boar one has the name of the hilt is, or it has some blocker towards the end of the blade. You could probably take that off, and it's got a shorter handle. That Samburu spear is quite a bit longer. It's like 8 foot long or something. Great balanced spear on the end, point on the other end, and used as it's advertised on Cold Steel by the Samburu and other African tribes to fend off and dispatch lion, leopard, etc. Like I said, all you need to know is Tim Wells on film stalked and dispatched a Cape Buffalo, fully grown old bull with that Samburu spear. Sorry for ranting, but yeah, I'm all about it, man. It's my life. My favorite thing in this life, anyways. Outdoors, buddy. Oh, you're in Australia? That's crazy cool. Yeah, that Sambu would be perfect, but so would the boar. Spirit guaranteed. Man, you're lucky. I've always wanted to come to Australia and be in the outback. You ever seen the movie Quickly Down Under? You're lucky. No, we could talk about different things, but hunting-wise, outback-wise, countryside-wise, you're lucky to be in Australia. Not many places have it. I've always wanted to go after hog with dog and dispatch them with a knife. That would be so much fun. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know how we could talk about it all day, but I was gonna, politically, I don't agree with what's going on there. And again, from a very, so I am just naturally, even though I have long hair and look the way I do, I'm from a very conservative place, the most conservative state. And I fully believe in the Second Amendment. Ours is, and we have way more freedom. And ours has been under extreme threat. I could rant on it all day. It's unconstitutional what's already taken place, so not good. But lucky that I can have what I have. Of all, again, I have to be careful. It's retarded what I say on here. But I have, all calibers basically. And of all kinds. Especially what Pierce Morgan would call war weapons. I cannot stand that guy. Oh, archery hunting is my thing, but I use it all, and I have it all, and we grew up with it all, and we have as many as we possibly can, and we'll continue to acquire as many as we possibly can. Always. I know this isn't the response you were looking for, but I do live in the United States, and I do live in the Rockies. I don't like doxing myself too much. As much as I can or can't, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. It's easy to figure out where I am, that's for sure, but I try not to dox myself too much. Beaver. Well, I live in such a great place that I don't need a license to conceal carry. Though I do and am licensed, but I don't need one where I live, thank God. And there's a lot of things that I don't disagree with, but it's hard to explain, where I live, MJ is illegal, but I'm okay with that because it keeps a whole swath of certain types of people away. I'm okay with that. Keeps our population low. I'm okay with that. Because what we don't want are people coming here and telling us how we should or shouldn't be doing things like this, for instance. I'm a tribalist, nationalist, through and through. I believe so much in our forefathers and the Constitution that, you know, I have to be careful though, you know, it's already over now, it's funny. What I've said has already ruined the stream already. You know, how do I say it? I really admire the certain tribes that were here in the past, and I really admire the people who broke free from the redcoats and all that. And I feel that blood deep inside of my bosom, so burning. Some of the stuff that's going on is not good. It's not good. So I gotta focus on this stuff as much as I possibly can. While I can. There we go. Get on with it. Perfect. We're just about done. Oh, old mate, I can't explain it enough, bro. I can't explain it enough. It's messed up. And again, I know what I look like. But I also do this also. One, I see it as I have strong roots. And I'm a healthy person. Now, if I were to have to go to war, or I knew I would be in combat, I would cut it off, because it would then be a limitation in the sense of if somebody would grab my hair. I know I'm ranting, but so you know. But having short or long hair has nothing to do with being conservative or understanding your constitutional rights or whatever. It's very sad what's going on. It's so sad. So sad. Terrifying, actually. So you can't let yourself get to those ways. But I mean, I you know, it's funny. I can't say much without it being censored. But again, already the fact that you know, we as citizens don't have the weaponry that our own government and military does, therefore we can't properly stand up against our own. That alone is not good. Not good. And very, very, very bad. They took care of that right away, but it's not good. But thank God we still do have, like I said, I try not to be too negative, but I like to watch so many varying things, like, and I study constantly, but one of my favorite things is looking at political debates and stuff, just to see what's being said, etc. And when you see somebody like Piers Morgan, you know, it's exactly why, it's exactly freaking why we should have them. I just have some that right there, but better be careful so you don't hurt yourself. Aging man. Yeah, it's to a limited degree. We all understand that. Nobody that is absolutely a bad person, nasty person in the sense of, I guess, unlaw-abiding citizen or whatever. You know how to slightly define it, but as a free American, Pierce, buddy, you know, we are the free ones, and we're not giving that back. At least as much as we have within our control. I could rant forever. It's funny. The gun buyback program. My God. And again, you can just, the statistics are there, so it's like, the more it's not completely censored, and the more an individual can just look, it's so blatantly obvious. One, like where I live, it's just wild. It's just wild. 90 some, conservatively 90 some percent of the people here have multiple in their home, have one in their vehicle, etc. And what crime do you see here? Literally. Of course there's crime. There's not the crimes that are, I mean, yeah, certain people should be able to have them and certain people shouldn't. It's as simple as that. I don't think a triple chin, dirty tooth fucking Brett should be telling me what we should do about our gun rights. Sorry, buddy. But where I personally live right now, there's no overgrowth of these type of people. There's no crime of this sense. And it's for a fine reason. And everybody of every demographic here all agrees. Okay, I'll end rant. I'm just ranting nonsense now, but we go everywhere with them. Everywhere. And what's crazy is, no matter what the propaganda, no matter what they say, etc., is, I spent my entire life watching people at bonfires, at camp, at parties, with guns, with weapons, with pistols, etc., drinking, having parties. I've never seen somebody, people that do that, it's only done for one reason. And like I said, no matter how intoxicated, I've seen people, etc., no matter where, people don't, it's very, 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 very rare, because of course it happens, but all the endless, countless parties here in where I live. Now, I've also been to cities and lived in cities and spent lots of time in all sorts of varying cities. Where I live, there's not that type of crime. Though alcohol is way more more destructive than, as a person who's been around it all my life. I mean, I've used it, I can attest. It's way more destructive than our little green friend. And way more dangerous. So, yeah, I can go on forever. As a matter of fact, I know outdoorsmen who are outdoorsmen, true mountaineers, wild people. The most wild of wild people in the Arctic, etc., etc. They all, everybody does, for a reason. Exactly, old mate and James. Oh, that's funny, Jamers. I don't know what they are. I guess I already doxed myself. Though, to be quite honest with you, pretty much everybody I know, even if the law, where I live, if the law was, they would all carry anyways. Everybody does. Everybody. All the women that I know have some in their purses. Everybody has some in their vehicle. I have multiple in my vehicle, and like when I'm going to check all my, for instance, I check traps from a truck, from a vehicle, but I also check traps from the side-by-side, and when I get in the side-by-side or whatever, I carry multiple with me. It just depends. But it's duck season, buddy, so the shotgun's always with me. I have to dispatch small game without ruining them, so I have to have a small caliber that's proper for that. If I see a coyote out there trotting at 100 yards, I also have to have something to properly do that. So it's like, it's funny. It's funny. That's for fur bearers during wintertime, because I'm a archery enthusiast. All of the big game animals that I go after, almost all of them I harvest with a bow. But when it comes then to harvesting these animals, it'd be nice to do absolutely no damage to them in any way, shape, or form. That's why the traps are so fantastic. Lucky James, what kind of fowl, what kind of duck? Lucky. I harvested my first legal ducks this year for the first time in my life. Red-blooded? Like hound dog? Like red bone hound? Specifically, or what do you mean by that, old man? Lion hunting is one of my favorite things in this life. Oh, I can definitely help you out, man. Mallard and goose, man, I hope you feel your limit. The way that read to me is I liked it. Whoa. His teeth are crazy. Whoa. You'll just have to literally go for it. You're just gonna have to set aside the funds and focus on doing it then. Like drop a huge buck. Red-blooded. I don't know if you're being facetious or not. That's making me laugh. The experience is a meditative experience. Trust me, buddy, every single time I step foot in the woods, I want to drop a big buck. It's not always that easy. There's nothing like being out, and it's all varying depending on the game, your quarry. It's, you know, it all changes. The methods, kind of the sign you're looking at. I love it all so much. I mean, fishing is I mean, you know, we call it fishing, but in a sense, fishing is a form of hunting. Trapping, all of it. Dude, Happy New Year to you as well. I'll be here, man. Thank you so much for the kind words. You found another person that can give you some advice / help you out. He's got some safety on him. Yeah, sorry for the low commentary. I would be talking more. I wish I was playing music, like I said. I need some mod or mods who know what they're doing that I can trust, who then also can help me with things like that. Because I've tried to play some non-copywritten playlists and I've gotten copyright, so I stopped playing music. Dude, James, that's insane. Have a good day, good night, mate. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll see you hopefully again soon. Pop in and say hi anytime you see my stream, please. James, good for you, buddy. Much deserved, especially if you have the funds. It's just, that's crazy. That's so cool. That's so cool. You know, I really, really want to go to Alaska and hunt. And Canada as well. But I'd like to go up there and harvest a grizzly with my bow so bad. It's like one of my dreams right now. Now, I've never harvested a moose. Nor any sheep. No sheep. I did draw a once in a lifetime big or a mountain goat tag in my home state, and I harvested a trophy billy all alone. That was like a highlight of my hunting. Harvested a trophy billy, and I was all alone, miles into the backcountry wilderness, in a place where, you know, I've watched mountain goat hunts in the Kenai and every place imaginable, and where I harvested it is about in one of the hardest geographically and according to the landscape that it gets. At the top of the world. So that was cool. But man, good for you. Good for you. Take me with you. That's cool. I watched a really cool, recently I watched a float moose hunt where a guy and his dad went alone on a float, floating, stopping, calling, looking for sign, and harvested moose with their bow. All alone on a float. I was like, yep, that's definitely one of the things I would love to do. Well, that's about as perfect of an ear as it gets. It doesn't get as good as that. I got no cuts on this guy so far, so I'm almost to the end of his face. We're literally about done. Again, about as good as it gets. Wow. You don't always get ears that perfect. That must be that good. Dude, sick. Sick, James. You know where you'll be going up there? I don't know too many places up there, to be quite honest. Wow. Wow. See, that's definitely one on top of my list, is a float up in a place like that. One of my buddies killed a smoker bull elk this year, floating in a spot where we literally, the only access is floating. Miles and miles, like a 15-mile float, so not near as far as that, but enough. And over-the-counter unit, I mean. This year, while we were in there, he got it done, and we got to float a freaking bull elk out of down the river. It's not a moose, though. Good for you, man. Yeah, the goat hunt was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in my life, without question. Now, I hunt in that country, and I've been up there plenty of times, but I harvested that billy all alone, and I was miles in the backcountry, surrounded by grizzly bears and wolves. Saw a bunch of grizzly on that hunt. And I definitely let the grizzly know after I harvested my goat. On my way out, I was miles in there, that if you show up, I ain't messing around, and you're definitely not taking old Billy from me. Because I don't get another one of these tags, buddy. Not here. I was sold. Sold. I want to hunt mountain goat for the rest of my life. Now, if you only knew how much I love and how I have the right to say it because I've harvested so many now. Well, I mean, a few dozen. You know, like I said, many years I've killed 2 or sometimes 3 elk. But, you know, I've harvested quite a few with my bow. Quite a few now. Quite a few bulls, but also cows. And elk hunting in the rut is there's really not much like that. But I said I would absolutely trade if I had the opportunity. I would give up hunting anything else to have a mountain goat tag where I was every single year, without question. It was that kind of experience for me. When you said the teepee tent, it makes me think of Peaks for some reason. That's a new company that's been being pushed. And one of my buddies has one of their teepees. Though I've slept in a couple different models or companies. I personally do not have a teepee right now, but agree with you. I agree with you. Weird. Dull. Nice getting dull. We're almost done. No way I'm switching blades right now. Dude, that's freaking awesome. Yeah, exactly. That setup is probably sweet. I bet that setup is sweet, man. I really would like their, I like their stuff. I like their stuff. I like their bag. I would really like their sleeping bag. Sorry if you can't hear me. That full body mummy type. Well, not mummy. That full body like opened up arm one quilt. Because the way that I use my bag is like a quilt. I do not have a quilt, but I use my bag like a quilt, and it's become the preferred way that I use my bag. So I've been wanting to get a nice quilt. It's so expensive. Everything is so expensive that I am also been using the same bag for so long, but it works and it's warm. So it's a 20 degrees. So, you know, I get into some iffy situations. On my goat hunt, I had some iffy situations, but it's cold enough if you have a stove, which I do not. Not for a tent. Sick. Definitely not packaging the meat right now. I'm way too tired. I gotta rest before we go run the traps. Gotta take a little bit of a rest before we go run traps. I'll obviously show you the pelt. This one is gorgeous. Dude, James, can't agree with you more. I can't agree with you more. Spent way too much stuff on Kuyu and some Sitka, but I love plenty of companies. They're all fantastic. Peaks is one I've been really wanting to use. One of my buddies has quite a bit of Peak stuff, but I have nothing Peaks. The headlamp that I have charging is a Peaks imitation Chinese knockoff that I freaking love. Got chompers on that guy. Ever-growing ivory that they shave. It's really unique. I love them so much. I love these animals so much, man. So much. One of my favorite things.